All right, hi, I'm Kieran with CCG on the Streets. This is.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
All right, so I've got a few questions here. Hopefully, they offend somebody. Um, so, what are your thoughts on abortion and why?
I think abortion should be more regulated because nowadays people are using abortions as essentially like a plan B. You get pregnant, you
Yeah.
weren't trying to sit there and get pregnant, so you're killing a child. To me, it makes no sense. I think it should be safe for people who absolutely need it for medical reasons or you know yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
That or sexual assault situations like that.
Yeah. I'm very similar views. I actually heard like a third of Gen Z have already died, and it's all because of abortion.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You got EBT show winning the awards for them.
Really?
Yeah, she gets tons of them.
That is insane.
It feels like at this point you have people sitting there and they're giving them those sandwich coupon things where you stamp it multiple times and you get this thing's free. It's the same thing with abortions now. Everyone's getting it. It just makes no sense.
Okay, so I don't know if I need to ask you this, but there's a lot of people who dislike white people. So I've added in the question of what are your thoughts on white people in general? How do you feel about it?
Well, I feel like I'm kind of biased, right, as a white man, but well, I love myself, and it's kind of sad that we can't sit there and say, it's okay to sit there and be like, you're proud of being black, you're proud of being, Asian, you're proud of being, Hispanic, but you can't sit there and be like, I'm proud of being white.
It should be that everyone should be encouraged to be proud of their own people.
100%.
Yeah. Now, should white people be able to maintain control or a majority of control of their own countries?
100%. And I don't think it should be just white people. It should be whatever country, right? You should be the native people of that country. And I know that's going to piss people off. Like, we weren't the first ones here. Well, there's a difference between, conquering and then sitting there and having an established country, right? North America wasn't an established country, so anyone who wants to sit there and say anything can, take that up, amongst themselves. But no, I think that we should stay in control. You know what I mean? It's like if we went to Africa and a bunch of us were there and we started, embedding ourselves into their politics, I feel like they'd have a big issue with that too.
They definitely do. Apparently, yeah. And that happens in every other country. I mean, you look around the world, you're not going to find an Asian country, a Middle Eastern country, an African country where white people are all in control. It just doesn't happen.
100%.
So what are your thoughts on mass immigration versus mass deportation? Now, because of all the people that are causing problems, that are coming in mass immigration, sucking up all the money, there's a growing movement for mass deportation. And what are your thoughts?
I think we should deport almost all of them. The issue is not them as a people or as, a race or whatever you want to call it. It's the issue that these people are coming here and not trying to acclimate, right? They're not trying to sit there and live the lives like you and I do. They're trying to force their views, their lifestyles, and everything onto everyone, right? You can look down the street and you see it everywhere, right? We used to have businesses that were family owned and now they're owned by, people who sit there and don't even live in Canada. Everywhere you look, it's all halal food. Like, you can't go to a grocery store and find, a large variety of what you and I would have because portions of those spaces are taken up by other countries that do not want to sit there and acclimate.
There is a big problem with that.
Like, everything's just shifting. You know what I mean?
There's a big problem with how, I had a second question to that and I completely forgot. But that was well said. I'll say that because I'm drawing a brain fire right now. Sorry, folks. Now, with the growing population of immigrants, there's a very different world. Now, a lot of them are child marriage. What do you think is the path forward for Canada?
Well, I hope that's not the case.
With the Prime Minister saying that Sharia law is Canadian values, one of the components of Sharia law includes child marriage.
Yeah, that's not my Prime Minister. So,
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know. I would never sit there and trust somebody who had, 95% plus of their investments being held within the U.S. and their primary residency for the last 10 plus years was in the U.S. right? Like I wouldn't trust someone like that to run a country, and obviously he's running it into the fucking ground. Yeah, I think I wouldn't put it past him to sit there and put it in place. You know what I mean? Like all those politicians are weirdos. So, but I'd hope that Canada doesn't go down that route. Because Sharia law is not being Canada.
I mean, if you look at other countries that have it, it's not looking pretty.
There's not much to look at. They're all sand dunes.
Now this is an obvious one usually. So, what are your thoughts on slavery? Because it's legal here, right?
Well, I feel like all of us are slaves. They removed the chains and gave us smartphones. So
You're not wrong. And it's like, I was reading an article about how the slaves had the roof put over their head, they had food, they just had to work. So a lot of us can't even afford either of those.
yeah,
So it's do we have it better, or I don't know. It looks like it's just unified slavery.
yeah, that's what it is.
What are your thoughts on DEI hiring or discrimination? As there was a case in the paper not long ago in, I think it was Mississauga, where a white kid couldn't get a job at McDonald's because he didn't speak Punjabi. Do you think that's acceptable?
No, those DEI hires and everything like that is the reason why your cheeseburger can't be made properly. It's the reason why your coffee doesn't taste the same. It's the reason why every single one of these industries have gone to shit, right? Because now you're hiring people based off of their ethnicity, whatever they identify as, or whatever the fuck, right? But we're not hiring people based off of their skill set and what they actually provide to the whatever they're doing. Right? That shouldn't be how it is. We shouldn't be hiring people just based off of anything else besides their skill set.
I agree.
Like, that's how it should be.
Now, with the current global white population at 7%, and how I think it was 70 years ago, maybe more, it was about 33%. Do you believe in a thing called the white genocide?
Yes and no. I think that if you look at the numbers, it would kind of, lead you to believe yes. But if you really think about it, a lot of that just comes down to the fact that a lot of other countries have fucking stupidly high birth rates. Look at South Africa, right? They have an average of 7 children per person. But also keep in mind, a country like that is the rape capital of the world. So
Actually, no, I don't. Well, it might not
They
be the
are.
world, but now actually Sweden, with a lot of the immigrants coming in, they have
it's-
become one of the
Whoa.
rape capitals of the world.
because I remember in 2024.
Sweden was the safest country on earth for a time, and now it's quite the opposite. It's 1 in 3 women are going to be raped.
That's
If you're
wild.
Swedish, I don't know what the statistics are on others, but Swedish women have a 1 in 3 chance of being raped.
That
because
is
of
absolutely insane. That is insane.
It's a big rape culture, so that's a big problem. Like, so if people aren't assimilating, they're bringing in those other worldviews into our countries.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, one of my concerns is that if people are coming here, they're assimilating, right?
Yep.
And they're working hard. Some of them are working 14-hour days. I've
Yep.
known a few, and I've got along quite well with them.
Yeah.
Now, the people they're bringing in, they're going to raise a generation of extremely racist youth, and they're going to look at the same, and we're going to be like, fuck them out of here too.
Yeah.
And these are people that work hard to be Canadian. So then it's like, what do we do with them? Do we have? Are we going to be able to convince ourselves to spend the extra time and money to differentiate? And it's like, if something doesn't happen soon, my thoughts are it might not happen.
I agree. I think that if something doesn't happen soon, it just won't happen at all. And that's a scary thing to think of. Just imagine raising your children in, a world like that. It doesn't sound like a Canada that I would want.
Yeah. Now have you heard anything about Christian genocides in places like Nigeria, Sudan, Iran, and basically a lot of places where Sharia law takes over and regimes take over and they start killing off, enslaving, and kidnapping girls of the Christian.
That I have not heard about, no.
It's a big thing. Like, I think in Iran they killed 40,000 people in a week, just slaughtered them because they didn't want to wear burqas. The women did.
Yeah, that was during the protests, right?
Yeah,
That
and
was.
it's still going on.
Yeah, they killed 40,000 within the first 3 months.
And
that
then-
number was released in March.
Yeah, now north of Nigeria, they're slaughtering Christians. Like, what they do apparently is they'll pretend to be some men will come into a community, pretend to be Christian, get to know them, and then they'll bring in the extremists and kill off the entire village. So there's videos now online of them cutting off the heads of Christian mothers and raping their godparents' wives. It's pretty gruesome. And there's actually a guy who got approved to go to England who has photos on his social media of him decapitating Christians holding their heads.
That is
He got
crazy.
approved. Meanwhile, a person that says they don't like rape can't go to England.
That is fucking wild.
Yeah. So it's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, here England's really mad right now.
Now I'm trying to remember that one other thought I had. Do you think with immigration we should either put a full halt on it, or at least a halt on people with different worldviews, and put preferential treatment on people that have the same kind of Christian worldview or the same kind of worldview that Canada was founded upon?
I think we just put a pause to it because you can't sit there and properly go through all the people and vet everyone who's already been here if you keep bringing people in at the rates that we are, right? A good example of that is Tim Hortons sitting there and, pushing to get hundreds of thousands of more temporary workers brought into the country, which just makes no fucking sense when you have a whole, generation of youth who are willing to work but can't find jobs.
Yeah, it's true. They're getting incentives. So if they claim they can't find local help, what'll happen is they'll say we can't find local help. We bring this person in from the old country, and that's what they'll do. Sometimes they'll get a bonus, an incentive, $1,000 per foreign employee.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it's not good.
I've heard that they also pay part of wages. Is that also a thing?
So it's actually, there's a big thing, I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, so I'll look into it, but there's a big thing called wage trafficking. It's a form of human trafficking.
Okay.
So there's entire agencies, some of them are based here, where they promise these people back from India or other kind of poor countries. They say, hey, come here, you got $15 an hour Canadian. And when they get here, they get maybe 4 or 6 because the rest is taken by the company.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing the cartels do, though?
Pretty much. There's not much difference. And like a lot of these Indian companies, they're gangsters. Like they're very dangerous. Like I interviewed a guy here, right here.
Yeah.
Great guy, super nice guy. He's trying to come here legally, right? And he's living in another city, and he got jumped, beaten with a pipe. He wakes up, and something from his old home was in his pocket. The gang had eyes on him. They were watching him. They were trying to extort him. Yeah, and that's a big thing now. Those people, so it's not good. Yeah, so it's something needs to be done, and something needs to be done in an organized fashion.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm reaching out is one, to speak about the Christian persecution, to speak about the state of our country, and just to kind of get where everybody is, like all Hamiltonians, right? Because we look at people on the street here. There's a growing homeless problem. There's a growing addiction problem, and people need to start speaking up, doing something. We need to figure out what everybody's thinking and find a middle ground, and from there we need to start acting.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, you actually have known quite a bit, so thank you very much for talking.
Appreciate it.
If you want to say anything to the people at home, please do.
In all honesty, just make Hamilton great again.
Amen.
That's all it is.